VLOOKUP function is used to search for a value in the first column of a table and returns a value in the same row from a specified column. If you look at this data, let's start. You will see that from cell B6 all the way down to cell E36, I have data that contains the order ID, product ID, salesperson, and net sales. Okay, so we're going to assume that that is data generated by a, let's say it's a supermarket. Okay, let's say it's data generated by a supermarket. Now, in the supermarket, the data is definitely going to be larger than this, but so as not to complicate things, we are starting out small. Okay, now we have the order ID. The order ID is a unique value that represents each order, or that represents a particular order that a customer makes. Okay, so if you order an item from a supermarket or online or something, there is an order ID. That is the reason why if you want to complain, okay, you want to complain that, oh, you have not received your order yet, or you want to cancel your order or something, you will see that they will never ask you, what did you buy? Isn't it? They won't ask you, what did you buy? They won't ask you, okay, where are you delivering to? If it's something that you have already ordered, though, you now want to make a complaint or you want to request for a refund or something, they won't ask you, what did you buy? They won't ask you, what is the price of the thing that you bought? They won't ask you all of those. No. The only detail or the only information that they will ask from you is, what is your order number? Okay, because your order number is expected to be unique. So if you give them your order number, they can easily get every detail regarding a product that you purchased. Okay, once you give them your order number, they would know the product you bought. They would know where you are delivering to. They will know the price of the product. They will know the quantity of products that you ordered for. Okay, now I have product ID here, even though I don't have product name. But what product ID is simply doing is identifying each product that we have in our store. So if a customer buys a product, let's say a sharpener, that sharpener has a unique product ID. Let's say the product ID for sharpener is 439. It means that anywhere I see product ID 439, it means that what that person purchased is sharpener. Okay. Now I also have the salesperson here and the net sales. Okay. Now there is a system that enables people or computer operators, sales representatives, okay, in the supermarket. It does not even have to be, it does not have to pertain to supermarket actually. Okay, we would see in the next data as well. There is not always sales data. Okay. But basically, there's a system that allows you to say, oh, I want to get a certain information regarding a unique value. The key thing there is the unique value. I want to get a certain information regarding a unique value. Okay. At times it might not be unique, but that is a different case. All right. What we're looking at here is the uniqueness. Okay. So how can I get the name of the product or the amount generated by that order? if I'm giving just the order ID. So the key thing is that I need a value that is unique. Okay. Now, in your order table or your sales table, the only column you would have that all the values there should be unique is your order ID column. Okay. I have this system here that says that, okay, for each order ID here, I want to get the net sales value. Okay. So what this allows is that, oh, the operator can simply come, you call Jumia now, and they ask you, uh, what is the issue? You say you want to lay a complaint regarding a product. Um, you ordered a product online, and when you were ordering, the total amount was 57,920. And when the delivery guy came now, he told you it's 67,920 you are paying. That you don't, there's a mix up somewhere. He will not tell you, oh, okay, give us the order ID or the order number. Once they put in the order number in a particular cell, okay, it might not even be a spreadsheet, it might be an application. But once they input the order number, it will bring out the details of the order that you made, so they can get the net sales. So that is what we're trying to do here. Okay, now how does the VLOOKUP help us achieve this? How does the VLOOKUP, how does it help us to achieve this? Very simple. If you look at the first column, I have the order ID, isn't it? Now, any value you are looking for, you want to find details regarding a particular value. In this case, it is the order ID. I want to find details concerning. I want to find the net sales for each order ID. Now, the value that I want to find a detail concerning, that value, what I'm simply going to tell VLOOKUP is I'm going to tell VLOOKUP, look at this value that you have in this cell. Okay, cross-reference it with the value that you have in the first column of my table. So this is my table of data. Okay, I'll tell it to cross-reference this value or any value in this cell with the first column of my table. Okay, or if I highlight from here, it is my highlighted range that matters if I don't convert to a table. Okay, so that's the two techniques I want to show you. I'll show you highlighting range and converting to table. Okay, so if I highlight from here, because this is the first column I highlighted, I did not highlight the order ID column. The VLOOKUP will be cross-referencing this value with this column. It will be trying to find this value in this first column that is highlighted. Okay, now, because I know that the value that I give would be cross-referenced with the first column in my selection or in my table, I need to make sure that whenever I am selecting, okay, my selection, the first column in my selection is that column where that value can be found. Even if I highlight from here like this, okay, the goal is after you're highlighting, okay, that column should be the leftmost column. It should be the column on the far left, because VLOOKUP will not go through the entire data. What it will simply do is, okay, this is the data you highlighted, Abby. Yes, all right. Now, the first column in that highlighting, which is this column, that is what I'm going to look at. I am not going to bother myself with any other columns. So it looks at this column and it detects this value, 105. Beautiful. Now, once it sees 105, the goal is now that I have identified this row as the row I am interested in, because that is where order ID 105 is 105, 105. Now, once I am in this row, what do you want to get in that row? Is it the product ID you want to get? The product ID is on the second column. Is it the salesperson you want to get? It's on the third column. Is it the net sales you want to get? It's on the fourth column. So those numbers matter. You will need to tell Excel that, oh, I want to get the value in the fourth column of that same row, or in the third column of that same row. All right. So let's go ahead and explore using the VLOOKUP value, and then I'll show you some simple tricks that makes it even a bit more interesting using data validation. So let's see. Net sales. So this is where I want the net sales value to always show. All right. So I'm going to start with an equal to sign, equal to, and my formula or my function is VLOOKUP, open brackets. Now, before I type in the argument, let's look at something. Whenever you call a function name in Excel equal to the function and you open brackets, Excel will give you some suggestions most of the time. Okay, Excel will give you what is known as arguments. Arguments are simply what goes into the brackets of that function. Now you will see that each argument is separated by a comma. I have lookup value, comma. If you can't see it, I can't zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. If I say equal to VLOOKUP, it still does not, it's still the same size. But the thing is, after each argument, comma. So if I put in the lookup value, comma, the table array, comma, the column index number, comma, the range lookup, and I'll close my bracket. Okay. So let's see. Now, equal to VLOOKUP, open bracket. Look at the first argument, lookup value. Lookup value. What is your lookup value? Your lookup value is simply the value that they will use to cross-reference. In this case, it is the order ID value that you give. Okay, you call the Jumia customer care, they ask you for your order ID number. When you give them the order ID number, that is the lookup value. Lookup meaning go and look for that value. So that is the value they want to look for. They want to look for your order ID in all their database. Okay, so in this case, this is the value we want to look up. This is our lookup value that we want to find. I click this value. When I click this value, okay, remember that I am clicking a cell. So it will reference the name of that cell. I click it. I7. I7, comma. Now, the table array is simply saying, where is your database or where is your data? Okay, where is your database or where is your data or where is your table? This is the range, isn't it? This is the range. So I'm going to highlight the entire 4 columns all the way down. Do you see that? Once I highlight like that, I'll press my F4 key. Look at what I have currently, B6 colon E36. Once I press my F4, it turns to absolute referencing. it is usually necessary to use absolute referencing on your table array. So you can see my dollar sign before the letter, dollar sign after the letter. If you press F4 and you don't have dollar signs like this, what you need to do is you need to take your cursor there manually and type dollar sign before the letter and after the letter. Before the letter and after the letter for the second one. But you can see that I did not use absolute reference for my lookup value. Now, this is necessary because my lookup value can change. The cell can change. For instance, now I can copy the formula down. If I copy the formula down, this cell will be changing. In this row, I want to look up the value here. But my table array will never change. It is always this range. That is why I use absolute referencing on my table array to lock it. Then I press comma. Now, column index number. Column index number. This is simply asking that what do you want to get? What detail are you looking to get? Oh, I have the order ID, but I need to get the net sales. Now, you need to locate where net sales is in your table. This is my table. My table has 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. Net sales is column 4, easily. So if it is net sales I want to get, my column index number will be 4. If it is salesperson that I want to get, my column index number would be 3. If it is product ID I want to get, my column index number would be 2. But in this case, I want to get the net sales. So my column index number is 4. Sorry about that. My column index number is 4. So I will type 4 in there, comma. Now, range lookup. Range lookup is asking for this order ID that you gave me. Is that the actual value I should look for? 85% or even 90% of the time, that is what you would be using. Yes, you want it to look for the actual value. Okay, don't go and take another person's order ID because it looks like it. Maybe because it is 106. You now say, oh, I think this should be it. No, you must look for order ID 105. So if I want that, then I need to use exact match. You can see I have two choices: true for approximate match or false for exact match. So I need exact match. What approximate match will do is that it will look at the value. If it cannot find 105, it will take maybe 106 or the value closest to it. Okay, but that is not what we want in this case. We need the exact match, meaning look for the value 105. So that if I put in 105 as the order ID number and it tells me there's no value, I would know, or there's no record like that, I would know that, oh, there's actually no record like that. Mr. Man, are you trying to scam us? We don't have any record with order ID 105. Please call the correct order ID number. But if I use approximate match, if it does not see 105, if it sees 106, it will give me the details for 106 and I won't know. I will now be saying, okay, from this order ID, I can see that you bought a laptop of 200,000. The person will say, no, it's fine, I bought though, because you used approximate match and it could not find that order ID 105. So it had to move to the closest value to it. So what I will use is exact match. I will press my arrow key on my keyboard, come down, and I will press tab, my tab key to select. Now, inside the bracket, you will have false. That is what denotes exact match. And this is your complete formula. I will close my bracket. So once I press enter, it gives me the net sales for this particular order ID 105. So where it sees order ID 105, it simply went to the fourth column. This is the first column, second column, third column, came to the fourth column of that same row, the fourth column of that same row. Do you see that? So both your column that you want to use as cross-referencing and the column you want to check or you want to grab a value from, they need to be in the selection. And that is how you get the net sales. Now, this VLOOKUP is able to work because of one reason or two reasons. The first reason is because this order ID that I wanted to get is in the leftmost column. Okay, is in the leftmost column of my selection. Number two reason why it worked is because my data is in vertical format. That is why it is called VLOOKUP. Okay, it is called VLOOKUP. V for vertical, vertical lookup, meaning your data needs to be in vertical format from top to bottom. You have your column headers at the topmost row. So my data is going from top to bottom, from top to bottom. Column header at the top, data beneath. Column header at the top, data beneath. This is a vertical formatted data. That is why I can use the VLOOKUP in this case. Okay, so if you look at the function again, the range lookup type, which is false, you direct it to the one at the bottom and you press your tab key to select it and you press enter. Okay, so that is how you can use your VLOOKUP function. Now look at a minor constraint. Okay, remember this is still my entire data. Okay, so if I say, oh, what I want to get now is not order ID. Okay, what I want to get is actually product ID. If I say, okay, let me do for product ID instead. Now, which product ID am I using? Let's say 4678. Inside this cell, I type 4678 and I press enter. You see that this value gives me NA. Do you see that? It gave me NA. Now, why is it giving NA? Because it cannot find this value, 4678, in the column that it is referencing. It is not looking for this value in the entire table. No. Okay, it is not looking for this value in the entire table. It is simply looking for this value here in the first column of your table. So when it goes through this column and it does not see 4678, it will return NA. Okay, but assuming I have 4678 here, let's say in this cell, I change this value to 4678 in the first column and I press enter. You see automatically that it tells me the net sales is 5905. This is just to tell you that whatever value you are looking for, it searches for it in the first column of your table. It's from there, when it sees it, it will now go to the column that you want to grab a particular information from. So I'm going to undo all of this and proceed.
Endeavor to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you. See you in our next class. Bye.